You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will begin after these words from our sponsors.
Journey up the gravity well with us as we explore the near future on the Pocket Singularity podcast. We're exploring the possibilities of science, economics, politics, and society using the Fantasy Flight Games Genesis system. Our story begins with the loss of the greatest scientific mind of the century, Ndidi Okorafor. Shadowy groups, massive corporations, and scheming politicians are all seeking to find a way to harness her breakthrough and then exploit it to their advantage. Everyone wants to know what could happen if you could harness all the energy of a black hole. If you like Peter F. Hamilton, Cixin Liu, William Gibson, Ndidi Okorafor, we think you would love this show. We look forward to having you along as we ride up this gravity well, and look forward to seeing you on the other side of this event horizon.
Hello listeners, welcome back to the show. My name is Adam and I am the GM for Episode 3, Chapter 2 of the Coldfire Chronicles. I am joined today by my players who, as they introduce themselves, will be answering me this question. At the end of the last episode we had a funky shopping montage. What little thing did you buy that to others may seem meaningless and trivial, but holds a weight of meaning for you?
Hi, I'm Ross. I'm playing Agatha, a Moriolan warrior aggressor, whose emotional strength is his pride, but whose weakness is his anger. As a Moriolan, he leans into the cultural norm of tattooing his face, and with basically his personal history. So he's already has a number of tattoos on his face. At this time, I'm not going to go into what the chain and the stars and the serrated mark represent, but at the minute he's been looking for something to represent the fact that for the last 3 years he's been in prison. He knows he killed a Wookiee. He'd like to mark that at some point. So he's been off inquiring tattooing supplies. Basically, the inks. Hasn't got the tattoo yet. That'll come later.
My name's Ed Fortune. I play Oberon Brick. He is a human Seeker hunter. His moral frailty is his cruelty, and his moral positive thing is that his search for justice. Oberon, in a quiet moment, snuck off and got his hands on a big pack of Alderanian waffles with some syrup, and just snuck that in with the groceries because he's been dreaming of those since he arrived on the prison planet.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I play Jiren, a Chiss Mystic Advisor. His emotional strength is his enthusiasm, but his emotional weakness is his recklessness. This is the sort of place Jiren loves. He has disappeared into the crowd, turning back up at the ship once or twice. When he turns back up, he's wearing something that probably didn't cost him a great deal considering his levels in negotiation and charm, but it is a somewhat very light but somewhat flamboyant long purple coat. He looks again like a space pirate, and he seems very much happier in himself now. It quite obviously to Jiren, clothes make the man, and he feels 100% better. The fact that he now looks a little bit too gaudy and a little bit like he's going to shiver your timbers. I think that's what you're supposed to do as a pirate, isn't it?
Hi, my name's Mim and I play Lassa. She's a human sentinel artisan. Her moral strength is curiosity, but her weakness is obsession. Lassa, after doing an inventory of what was needed for the ship, nipped off to get those little bits and bobs that you needed, a few screws here, a few plasma coils there. But she also went and picked up a large lockbox. You said little thing, and it's just a lockbox. A lot of people have things to put stuff in. And this is just going to fit in her workroom, which is not really off to one side. She's kind of walled off a little bit of the engineering room, and it's just tucked under a bench in there. And if anyone sees her as they're walking past, she's got a collection of objects in her bag and a couple of things that have been put together and connected. And that has gone in the lockbox. That's been set with a small combination code. It's a good lockbox. And she just won't mention it ever again.
As the sun rises in Port Haven, our heroes wake up aboard Coldfire's Mercy. Prinkle has done what is expected and what only comes naturally to him. He's made a nice brew. He's taken advantage of the new grocery supplies to do a nice fried breakfast for everybody. The formerly recycled and very stale air of the ship has now been replaced with the lovely smell of cooking meats and vegetables. The air conditioning of the ship is still working, keeping the crippling humidity of Port Haven out of the vessel, keeping it a nice, cool and comfortable temperature for everybody. You all wake up.
It is the first day of the rest of our lives. This is good. I feel more comfortable this morning than I have done in a long time. Let's get everybody up and let's get ourselves going. We'll all meet, I imagine, in the galley.
A bit of breakfast will be good for everybody. Prinkle, you are a darling. Never let anyone tell you otherwise.
My pleasure, my friends. It's important to start the day on a good full belly. It's what my mother always told me.
Prinkle, what is the meat thing here?
It is meat. They charged extra to identify it. I didn't want to push our credits too far.
Ignorance is bliss, I understand.
It's delicious.
It's better than what I've been having before. Look, there's a bit of crystal. Isn't that lovely? It's nice. It shows that it's fresh, I imagine. We need more money. And speaking of which, I think we should go and see Hawker.
Aye, we're going to do this, aren't we?
Hi, Jack. Do you trust Hawker? I mean, is she connected to the rebellion?
I trust Hawker with my life. She saved my life a couple of times, and I've done the same for her. I mean, it was a long time ago, and it's the kind of thing where, we both stopped keeping count.
Usually what I would do in a situation like this is I would skirt around the situation until I realized I could trust the person and then approach the subject. Shall we skip right to the end and say we want in?
She does prefer it if you speak plainly when it comes to business.
And you think she'd probably have a contact for us?
Almost certainly.
Okay.
I suspect there's few people that she doesn't know.
Okay. Is there anything else we need from her? Lasser, I'm looking at you for the ship. Do we need anything for the ship?
No, I reckon she's a little old, but she'll be fine. Once she's fueled up, she'll do whatever you want her to do, basically.
She's a warship. I think we can do some decent damage. Did you see the guns?
Oh, aye, but I reckon they're good guns. But we're still a few years out of date, remember? This is not the newest of babies. She wasn't born yesterday.
I feel like I was, right at the moment. Yeah.
The auto-targeting is a little off. I suspect it won't be able to identify more modern ships as easily. The friend or foe will be probably picoseconds slower than they need to.
Well, that's fine. I haven't decided who is a friend and who is a foe yet, so that is good. We're okay with that.
Could do with updating the navigation system. There's a few changes been made there.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all stuff that I'm sure we can get.
Right.
Right. Let's crack on then, eh? And
yes,
he leads the way off the ship. Prinkle once again decides to stay there and keep an eye on things, keep things ticking over.
I like that. You feeling at home here, Prinkle?
Oh yes, he's much better than most homes I've had. I have my own bed, no one kicks me, I have a mop that's mine, I'm allowed to cook. He's great. You don't mind me getting lost in the engineering without shouting at me or throwing wrenches at my head?
You're not going to set anything on fire like some other people, I can imagine.
He scowls again suddenly at O'Brien.
No, we do not have fires in my galley. I was talking to the navicomputer yesterday. They're charming. Strange accent, but charming. I like it here. It's a good place.
The navicomputer is a sweetie.
I guess you can't always pick your crewmates.
Yes, you can.
I ought to have known that you'd have something to say.
No, seriously, you can. It's essentially either you're the captain or you mutiny. There's always options. Don't feel restricted. You could pick your crewmates if you wish.
I'm getting the impression that there is an arm on my shoulder, and I'm distinctly unhappy about that.
He's about a second away from giving you a hug.
These are my anti-hug eyes.
Yeah, he's noticed.
You've heard of come hither eyes? These are bugger off eyes.
Go yonder eyes.
Don't worry. Don't worry. It is fine. We are a good crew. As I said before, we are many different areas of expertise. Anything like Frositas, we have somebody who can do something. Apart from fly the ship.
Lasser is now going to exit the ship mumbling about how, she can fix it, she can put it together, all sorts of stuff. Flying it's different. It's not her job to fly things.
As you're walking through, if we're really that worried about it, we can always ask Hawk for an astromech.
Do you think we'd be able to afford that? I mean, I imagine there's something we will need to do for her.
Well, almost certainly, but, in for a credit, in for 1,000 credits.
Killer credit?
Yeah, killer. Yeah,
Make a credit.
Those astromechs can be more trouble than they're worth.
Which means that you will have to look after it.
Oh no, you buy it, you look after it.
I think you should keep it in line.
Don't look at me. I'm looking after Mr. Sparkles.
Who's Mr. Oh, the cat! He is very cute, but I wish he didn't do that on my shoes.
Agatha, stop it.
And the cat as well.
I'd like to say for the record, I'm less scared of Agatha now for some strange reason.
Because he's holding a loft cat. Are you taking the loft cat with you?
Not really, it's his.
I take the cat out of the bag. He keeps getting back into the bag. I don't know why.
It's because he hasn't got a droid leg to live in.
Ooh.
Flashback. You make it through the streets back to the Ox and Ox. The same Trandoshan is still there. His velvet suit, however, this morning is like a deep emerald green.
That is a beautiful suit you have there.
I can give you the address of my tailor if you wish, sir.
That would be great. What is your name?
Pacific.
Thank you very much, Sifik. You are a very, very handsome man.
What was the name of his tailor?
I will talk to him later.
Okay.
He shows you in. The bar is pretty much as it was yesterday. It's still reasonably busy. This time rather, there is food being served as well. The private booths seem a lot busier this morning, and there's a lot of shadowy people drinking like hot calf and like eating like small crunchy kind of things while they're kind of discussing matters over data slates. There's kind of a susurrus of surreptitious business.
We don't just go straight up. This is what we do first. We go and get drinks. Go and get some calf. Order some food for the table.
That we can identify.
Order some food for the table. And then go and find her. Because even if we can't find her, if she's not here, we've got something to eat. We'll have a breakfast, have a lunch. So have a look around. Is Hawker there?
Hawker comes, stomping through the thing. You can see at this point that Hawker only has one leg. She is leaning very, very heavily upon a crutch, but the leg is missing on the same side that her eye is, clearly from some old wound. And then sort of looks round, catches your eye, nods, and then returns to her seat.
Don't go over straight away. Get comfortable. Get drinks for everybody. And then head over.
Yeah, the serving droids take your order and provide.
Good to see you again. Thank
Morning.
you for being so understanding yesterday. It was a trying day, as you say.
Well, you know, I can understand from certain points of view.
Not every day you, Yes, let's put the
leave it
past
there.
in behind us. So, you asked yesterday what we wanted.
I did.
And it seems clear to me that you are not the sort of person who would waste time with all manner of banter.
I tend to put a certain charge on it.
We, therefore, and we have discussed this and are in quorum, we want in.
You want
In.
in.
Yes.
What do you want in to?
You sent a message to Pyjack regarding the trainees at his abode on Daxos, right?
That is correct.
And his connection to the rebellion was what concerned you here.
No. Why I sent the message was because I knew what he was doing,
Yep.
and he was about to get killed for it.
We would like connections to somebody who we can help. We would like to know if you have any connections to the underground, the connections to the rebellion.
Ah, rebellion. Okay, so that is what you want. See, personally, I used to be with the rebellion a long time ago, before it is what it is now. Now, we're on good terms, but I wouldn't say that I'm part of them. I am very much independent. However, that said, I am on good terms and can introduce you to someone that may be of interest to you. And in which case I may be able to provide you with some papers to get you through some unfortunate regions of space.
That would be very helpful.
Because your names are known, your ship is known, so you need a way to disappear. I can help you with that.
Can I just clarify something?
Because, yeah.
We are interested in those who are using the Force, who are not connected to the Empire, and we believe that that is the rebellion. Is that correct?
That's what we think.
To the best of your knowledge, is that the correct direction? Or is there another underground?
I am a broker of various things, but your sort of thing, what you're asking, they may be the best place. It's not something that I am particularly familiar with outside of Pyjack's knowledge. I never got involved with that sort of thing. I don't want to be involved with that sort of thing, but I want to help my friend.
Can I ask? The rebellion scum, she says, audibly. What have they done to annoy you?
Well, I'm missing certain parts of myself because of them. So, let's say that the Empire and the Rebellion can be equally as careless with people's lives
I knew
as
it.
each other.
I knew it.
I lost a crew, I lost an eye, and I lost a leg. But, currently, I have a good life. I have a good business, and I want to keep it that way. The Rebellion, I don't know whether or not it's going to be winning. I want to be on the winning side, but I have no love for the Empire, for what they do to my people, what they do to other people's people, and what they do to entire planets, entire systems, especially if those people are not human.
Yep.
So, on that side, if it came down to it, I'd throw my lot in with the Rebellion, but that's not to say that, sometimes I don't do business with the Empire.
No, I can respect that.
I'm independent in its fullest terms. Don't like the Empire, but they have good money. Prefer the Rebellion. Sometimes they're bad debtors.
No, there's a true answer if ever I heard one.
Yeah.
Aye.
So, papers, direction. We will need to mask the ship somehow.
I can arrange a certain transformation. Well, maybe not transformation, but certainly it'll be in disguise as much as you are. It'll not have the same serial number. It'll not be registered the same.
That's what we need. And, it's an old ship.
Keys?
We, may need to update the computer system as well. Navigation targeting. Perhaps an astromech, because we are very behind.
I think I can arrange that.
So that is what we want, unless you can think of anything else.
The astromech doesn't have to be perfect. I can work on one that's a bit battered. I can deal with that.
Nothing new.
So as far as money goes, we can try and save a bit there.
Yeah.
I'm good with damaged parts. I'm sure I can make a few things work.
So, that is what we need. What do you need?
I need you to perform a little task for me. I have a contact on Lanico 4. His name is Thrall. He's an Ithorian, and I need some goods carrying to him under the radar. Your ship is old, but it's quite fast, it's quite small, and it's quite inconspicuous, and that's the sort of thing that I need for this particular task. That is what it is. You'll have fuel enough to get there and back. If you choose to take off with that fuel and with this cargo and decide to make your own way, I will make sure that your names, your serial numbers, and your ship is known throughout the entire galaxy. I can talk to some Imperial friends and they will reward me handsomely for it. I don't want to, but I must protect my business.
Hawker, we do not have many friends right now. What we do have is abilities, and these abilities we can help you with. But what we don't have, SSA, is friends, and we would like more friends. Please trust me when I say we will get your goods to where we need to go.
That is most comforting. And as friends, let's say that Thrall has a friend, a scholar, who studied the Clone Wars, who might know where Coldfire is.
At that, Pyjack goes absolutely pale. His hands start to shake on the table.
Are you alright?
He's dead. My master's dead.
Some sources say that he is not. He might be dead, he might not. This man may know more than you do. That is a little freebie I'm throwing in for you, on top of everything else.
Thank you, my friend. He can't be still alive. I don't remember him dying. I just remember then there was the voice and everybody was dead.
It seems that you don't remember a lot of things. This might be a way to find how to get your memory back.
From what people have told me about what I forgot the last time I forgot, I'm not sure I want it back. But I can't not know. I can't not know. If he's still alive out there, he might still need me. My general might still need me. And you can see kind of his left eye starting to twitch a little bit as well.
The war is over, Pyjack. He's not your general anymore. He's just a man.
I need some air. And he stands and he kind of staggers almost out of the bar.
He is not doing well at all. He is having flashes in and out of consciousness, and he is acting very strangely.
War does bad things to people. What it did to the clones was a burden that no one should have to bear.
We'll, and I signed my name as the captain, but I am not. We are all okay with this, okay? We are all okay?
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
Right. Agatha?
Yes.
Is that you're okay? Or
Yes.
are you paying
I am
attention?
okay. I was paying attention.
Yeah. We will get him where he needs to be. He said that you have a history, and there has been an exchange of savings of life over numerous occasions.
It's why I only lost an eye and a leg. I could have lost a lot more.
He saved us, we saved him. I understand. We need to help him.
Oh, but
Okay?
his head's not in the right place.
You only need to get his head in the right place.
I think someone should go out there and check on him now. I mean, what if he goes kill crazy again?
Well, there's a Trandoshan with a massive axe outside. I don't think that'll work.
Agatha runs and follows him anyway. So sort of taking the cue.
There we go.
This would be a nice, easy job. I've done transportation before. You just got to get object A to position B. Nice, easy run. I know how to look after engines. Whatever else needs to happen, you guys can deal with it.
Just
I know my job.
watch out for the Imperials.
Now, that's something I've done before.
Are we picking up the goods here?
I'll have them taken to your ship along with the astromech.
Excellent.
Right.
It'll take a little while for it to be arranged, but it should be no more than a couple of days, so feel free to enjoy Port Haven. It's a place of numerous pleasures and distractions, and also a lot of thieves, so watch your pockets.
Can I just ask something? You said there are people, that our ship was known to people, our names are known to people. What's been going on? Are we on the HoloNet already?
To certain things, yes. I mean, I wouldn't imagine it's particularly widespread. People, the Empire will want to get you before more people know about it, but from the people that is their business to know things, they will know, and I would imagine that there are certain dogs which have already been unleashed upon you.
Alright.
So, the quicker you get moving, the further away they will be. Let's be honest here, there are some among you who are quite well known, and actually, if you have disappeared from the prison that you're supposed to be in, I'm not looking at you, but I am looking at you, human boy, then they're going to be very interested in either getting you back, or making sure that you are far, far away.
Yes, I am well aware. Should it become apparent I'm putting the rest of you in danger, we'll deal with that at the time.
Orker, I very much appreciate the fact that there is quite a large bounty, I imagine, on Oberon, and you have not, as of yet, done anything that I would not like.
You can be more valuable to me as allies than you can as a single deal.
And I appreciate your foresight.
I'm into business. One transaction is ultimately worthless. Multiple transactions? Well, that's got a little bit more value.
I
Just-
love this place.
Out of curiosity, the walking stick that Hawker has, is there anything interesting about it? Is it metal, robotic, or is it a simple crutch kind of thing?
It's a simple crutch, but it does have quite an elaborate bone handle on it.
Okay. And is there a brace on her leg or anything, or is it just...
It is missing. It is
missing
entirely
completely?
gone.
There's no robot leg.
There's
or
no
anything?
robot leg or any there. Same with the eye. The eye is absolutely missing, almost as if she doesn't want to, override her disabilities, like she has it, and that is what she will deal with.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Outside the bar, meanwhile, you make it out, Agatha, and Pyjack has gone out of the bar, kind of a little way up the street, and is leaning on the wall of one of the buildings, kind of left arm kind of bent up above his head, forehead against the plaster of the building. And again, he's suddenly showing his age very much. His free hand that's by his side, his fist clenching, his hands twitching with the force that he's clenching his fist closed with, is sending his arm vibrating. And his shoulders are kind of almost hitching, as if he's trying to suppress a sob.
Agatha's not the most diplomatic souls, but he's... oh, understatement. How we've missed you. But he approaches... Agatha at this point is still a little on the cagey side, having fought him once before, but at this point is basically, Pyjack, are you well? I mean, clearly he's not, but it's a start.
I'm not great, mate. I'll be honest. I mean, I've been my proudest moment was doing my duty to my general That's why that's literally why they made me. That is my purpose in life, was to fight in the Grand Army, protect my general and defend peace. And I thought he was dead, like so many of my brothers were dead, like I should have been dead in that moment that I don't remember. I woke up surrounded by corpses with that wound in my side, and his hand kind of unconsciously grabs where you saw the burn mark straight through the side of him. And I joined the rebellion after that to avenge him, to carry on my purpose, which was to bring peace, to bring justice, not this oppression, not this enslavement, not this perversion that they're calling the Empire, this dominance. And I fought and I killed again and again, and until I couldn't kill anymore, till it all just blurred into one nightmare I could never get away from. And I hid myself away, and I told myself that I was done with it all, and that I was, atoning for what I've done, atoning for his death, atoning for all the deaths, just trying to make it right however I could. And then you came along, and the rest of you came along, and I thought that as long as I carried on his message, as long as I carried on his teaching, as long as I didn't forget what he told me, what he taught us all, that we're not just numbers and bits of flesh grown in a lab, that the Force flows through all of us, that it has a purpose for all of us. And that was my purpose then. It was to take you away, to carry on his message. And now to find that he might not even be dead, I don't know, mate. I'm struggling to process it all. And then there's these holes in my memory. When he died, I don't remember that. I just remember. And then when I woke up on the ship, and again, and the same hole in my memory, and this time no one was dead, but it could have been. From what Lester was saying, I drew on you. And what's it about, man? What's it for? I feel adrift. I feel like everything I've done is a lie. I feel like I've been... I don't know, Agatha, mate.
It's been a very difficult few days, but you have given us great strength for the last few months. Agatha's very pleased with this.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. It's difficult, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I'm for anymore.
Agatha's not sure either.
At least you're honest about it, I suppose. Look, I'm going to head back to the ship. I need to think. I need to meditate.
Agatha escort you there.
Thank you. And he starts heading off back to the ship, leaning on you quite heavily. For the first time, in fact, since you got him out of the prison cell, when he was battered and broken. And again, it's that weakness finally showing through. He's leaning on you very heavily. He's developed a slight limp, and he's favouring his side where that burn mark, that scar, still is. He doesn't seem to realise that he's doing it, but he's still clutching his side.
Before the prison break, how long ago would we have seen him prior to that? I mean, this is obviously before he was captured. We'll see him.
You were seeing him fairly regularly. Usually, at least once a week, he'd see at least one of you, during which he'd talk to you about the Force. He would lead you through guided meditation. He would help you kind of focus on what you can do and try and channel that in the ways that seem most suitable for you. It was quite clear that what he was trying to teach you was being taught by rote. When he was telling you how to reach your mind out and tap into that wellspring, that he was repeating someone else's lessons. He couldn't quite get there with you. But it was that sort of thing. And the stronger your powers were getting, the more that he was seeing you to try and help you channel that without getting lost in it. So, it was probably, for you and Jaren, who were the more frequent visitors to his place, it was probably only about 2 or 3 days before his capture, and he was never this frail. He was a proper hardy mountain man, all criff and vinegar and fearlessness. Yeah, he moved like a wolf, with that economy of motion, and certainly nothing like this.
At this point, I'm escorting him as best I can. Obviously, he's leaning on me, so I'm getting him back to the ship and into Prinkle's good graces. And that's the wrong phrase. He's not like he was upset with Prinkle was upset with him.
But he's a caregiver, is Prinkle. He'll look after him. The rest of you leave the bar. There's no sign of Agatha or Pyjack.
We've bought comms since last time, though, so...
Yeah, you've got comms.
Yeah, I think they probably need a bit of time. We have a couple of days, at very least. I do not know what to do.
What, you?
I know. I'm as scared as you are about it. I have no idea what to do. I mean, I know what to do once we get on the ship. Once we get on the ship and go, then I am fine. It is a...
Once we've finished with what we're doing here, which I think is mostly just finishing up our food, I think I'm going to go back to the ship and meditate on the living force.
That sounded very strange.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah. What does that mean?
You know what? I haven't quite figured it out yet. But certainly we can... There is a thing there. The reason we're here is because we were running away from a vision.
Yeah. Tell me how that goes. I'm going to find a card game.
I like your plan better, but I think I should do this one first.
Okay.
Maybe all I'll see is the best cards to me.
I'm going to come back and you're going to tell me you should not have gone to the card game. This is something I already know. It is a vibrant place. There are more people here than I have seen in 3 years' time. I need to live a bit before we go and do something.
I have to admit, I'm very interested in the jungle.
Have you got time to go and do what you do?
Probably not.
It might be a good idea to make sure these things are not illegal to...
I'll get back to you.
I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but, forewarned is forearmed.
I stand up and leave.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out into the jungle area and figure out if I'm allowed to go into the jungle area, and if so, get some basic camping equipment, and then I'm going to find somewhere to go and meditate. If the general advice is, don't do that, you fool, you're going to get eaten, then I'll do it at the ship.
I think I would like a streetwise check from you, please.
Okay.
It's a simple check, so just a single purple dice. But I'm going to spend a dark side point to upgrade that to a red.
Oh, this is going to go horribly, horribly well. Oh, it's gone horribly well. 1 threat and 2 successes.
Okay, what you find out then asking around about the jungle and that sort of thing. The jungle is absolutely full of predators.
Right.
The only safe places in the jungle generally are the places which have been cleared with blaster fire and remain cleared either by blaster fire or by the extremely high velocity trains that travel down that track, killing anything that steps into the path. It is a hunter's paradise in a way, because it is entirely full of horrible predators, both large and small, that will try and kill you. You notice, kind of, as you're asking around, that the outskirts of Port Haven, where it butts onto the jungle, are protected by energy shields, essentially, that stop the vegetation and the fauna getting into Port Haven itself. I mean, there are ways into the jungle, because there's always people who want to go and test themselves. In fact, there's regularly sponsored safari expeditions where a number of droids, because it's always droids that lead the expedition, will take tourists and those who want to chance their arm out into the jungle to see what they can kill. Sometimes they even come back with them.
Look at the safaris for a while, look at the ones going out, look at the ones coming in.
Do the ones...
Yeah, reconsider maybe my options.
Okay. The threat is that that's going to take you a lot longer than you expected it would, because you kind of get a bit bamboozled, and there's, again, it's trying to work out the droid speak and the slang and just getting your hunter's eye on exactly what's going on. You're a little bit out of practice for this sort of thing, so it just takes you a little bit of time before you kind of go, okay, actually, maybe not.
People keep trying to direct me to the wrong place, like the bar.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you want wildlife? That'll be the red district. No. No.
Rhodians. Jaren, Lasser, before I cut back to Agatha on the ship.
Jaren's going to go and have a good time. He's going to go and find somewhere where he can get a proper refresher, not just the one on the ship. He's going to find himself somewhere where he can play a few cards.
There is a renowned, essentially, it's a bathhouse, massage parlour and meditorium, which hires exclusively Doug masseuses.
He is totally going there. He likes a Doug. Oh, yes. So, yeah, he's going to spend the day there, maybe the night, if that's somewhere he can do. He will spend whatever it costs.
Next door to it, there is a casino. Mm-hmm. It's not quite Canto Bite levels, but it is where discreet individuals go to roll dice. It's not one of these bawdy dockside taverns. It's slightly more upmarket. It's not quite high stakes, but it's medium stakes.
Excellent. Dice is not something he's interested in.
They play Bazak.
That's the one. Yeah, because he can work Bazak. He can't work dice. He's not got the right sort of force powers.
But yeah, you can find Sabak or Bazak games. Are you playing fair or are you cheating?
Well, it's not about cheating, because you're supposed to hide what your cards are and hide what you have. So I think a combination of coercion and deception is kind of the right way to go.
Okie dokie, let's just see how well you do then. So, I'm going to put this against the average for the various players that you'll be facing throughout the evening. So it's going to be 1 red and 2 purple.
Okay.
To match their various skills and subterfuge.
And what skill would it be?
Either deception, perception, skullduggery.
Negotiation? No, that's
Charm?
Potentially charm if you want to blind them with charm. And I'll let you roll a force die in there as well to represent the fact that you're almost certainly going to be using your powers in
I
some
already
way.
have a force die in there and I'm using it.
Do you want to use a light side point?
Yes, I think I do. Let's be fancy free with the light side points.
If you walk away with the Millennium Falcon.
So that is 2 successes and 1 threat, but we've got 2 light side points as well, so we're going to turn that into 2 successes and 1 advantage.
You do very, very well. Certainly enough to more than cover the cost of your stay at the bathhouse and for your various massages and entertainments. Are you going to stay overnight?
If I can afford it, then yes I will, and I will use the communicator to tell them where I am.
Okay. Then.
Zero-G massage sounds pretty cool, actually. Sorry.
I'll be back tomorrow, okay? Everybody okay? Everybody cool?
Oh,
Yes,
So far?
yeah, that's good. Just that. What?
Are you actually having a massage while you're telling us?
Yeah. There is a communicator right next to the... Oh, no, yes, the feet. That's good, yeah.
If we have to come and get you, I am not going to be happy.
You should all come here. They make you very happy.
I'm ending this transmission right now.
No. Oh, that's good.
You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
There are dogs here, you know. Powerful hands.
My hands with feet.
Yes.
No. Lassa is going to go back to the ship and just have a quick look in on how Agatha and Pyjak are doing, but hopefully not get seen because she really just wants to go back to her little engineering space. And she is going to try and meditate, but she's going to put a kettle to boil on some heating coils. It's not really what they're designed to do. It's designed to do other things, but she's hoping that if something goes wrong in her meditation moment, the whistling of it should bring her out if something spooky happens.
Okay. Well, by that point, Agatha has got back to the ship with Pyjak. Yeah, Pyjak, when he gets there, he's still fairly shaky, and he goes to his bunk room. The one where
where we deposited him.
He's claimed that one as his bunk. He thanks you very much, and then he lets you know that he's going to start just kind of meditating, getting his head squared away, and drops fairly quickly into a trance and just lies there, eyes closed, humming very quietly.
Agatha's probably going to, I'll say, maintain a vigil from the chair he's been set on, the previous evening. But at the minute, Agatha's not really got a lot else he wants to do. There
There is a reasonable library on the Coldfire. I mean, they're very, very old, but there is a couple of books on there. There is some repeats of. Well, now you're in the HoloNet. You've got heights and depth streaming. You've got you've got full access to the HoloNet and that sort of stuff.
I mean, we have got a number of days, and it's not like Agatha's the only one who ought to be looking after this guy, but everyone else seems to have gone off their own pursuits for the time being.
You could probably come meditate with me if you ask. I'm bothered.
There's 3 years of heights and depths you haven't watched. 3 years.
You think Agatha's a big soaps fan? Probably more than a big reader.
Agatha is a massive soaps fan.
Hollow flicks and chill.
I'm going to do that quick search and see if there's a tattoo parlour out there, because that was an important thing. I don't know if that's going to be in town, but at the minute I'm still concerned for my friend who's he's been keeping an eye on us for a while. He clearly had an upset the last couple of days, and and Agatha is not the social care person of the team by a long shot.
You're the social harm person, really, aren't you? Yeah.
That's more along his skill set, yeah.
Okay, Mim. As you're meditating, as you lose yourself in the reassuring hum of the machinery, the gentle hissing of a boiling kettle, the very familiar kind of bumbling sounds of Prinkle doing whatever the heck it is that Prinkle's doing around the ship. Outside you can just about still hear some of the strange alien birds kind of calling. And it lulls you. It soothes you. It's like your mind suddenly becomes a little bit too loose for your body, and it slips away and out. And you're among the stars. All around you is the blackness of the void with little pinpricks of light. one of those pinpricks of light first of all calls to you, and you feel yourself travelling towards it. And as you get closer, you realise that it's Daxos, the ice moon. And you can feel that the world, the moon, is covered in this dark, roiling shadow. A shadow that exudes frustration and anger and a sense of being cheated and a hunger and a desire and a drive to hunt you. You know it's looking for you, it's hunting for you, but it can't seem to get your scent. You know, you can feel this wave of shadow and it seems to leap off the planet towards where you are, but it just goes past you every time. It never seems to connect. And then it recoils, it lashes out again, misses you, recoils back around the planet, and then starts seething and boiling again. Another one of the stars suddenly calls to you, and again you travel there. You don't know how. You don't even feel the sensation of moving. Suddenly you blink and you're there. And there's an asteroid field. An asteroid field that you know used to be a world. You see a beam of green energy retracting from this world and going to a huge shadowy moon. And in the heart of this moon there are crystals, and then you follow the crystals and where they came from because they're calling to you. There's a siren song there, and you find yourself on another planet, a mineral planet, a rocky planet, lifeless, just mountainous peaks and chasms and crevasses, and glittering from some of the stones, gems. There is a small abandoned camp there, an archaeologist's camp, an excavationist's camp. And leading from this camp there is a tunnel into the heart of the world. And you follow the tunnel and all goes black around you. And then you see one last star, a glimmering green star that resolves itself into a crystal. Then the whistling of the kettle brings you back to yourself. And that's where I'm ending the episode. With thanks once again to our guest voice Lou for playing Hawker for us.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you,
Thank you, Lou.
And dear listeners, we will see you next time. Thank you for listening. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.